Welcome. Today we are going to demonstrate to you the power of the integration between two of the most interesting information security technologies, namely data loss prevention or DLP and information rights management or IRM. For DLP, we will be using the best in its class GTB Technology DLP system, and for IRM we will be using Seclore Technologies. What we are going to show you in this demo is how the GTB DLP system can scan and classify confidential information in documents and then apply the appropriate IRM policy appropriately to it. So let's begin by logging into the GTB DLP system. Let's first look at the DLP policies that we have set up for the system. So over here we are going to look at two DLP policies. One is the DLP policy that we have made for the confidential keywords, and the other is to detect credit card information in documents. Let's go have a more deeper look at the DLP policy. So as you can see, the confidential keywords DLP policy has been mapped to the confidential expression tag. And let's look at the confidential expression tag. The confidential expression tag is a bunch of keywords such as nuclear, secret, restricted, etc. Let's have a look at the credit card number policy. So the CCN DLP policy is the credit card number policy, and that looks for any credit card numbers within documents. So what these two policies are going to do is that they're going to look at and scan documents for these policy violations. Let's now have a look at the IRM policies. So over here, as you can see, we also have two IRM policy. One is for the credit card number and the other is for the confidential keywords. Let's have a deeper look at what these IRM policies mean. So the first IRM policy, which is for credit card numbers, is the policy to protect documents containing credit card data. Let's look at it in detail. So what this IRM policy says is that only the finance department of the organization has access to this document, and they only have view and print rights on the document. All other rights are disabled. Now let's have a look at the other IRM policy, which is for the confidential keywords. So this one says that it's the IRM policy to protect documents containing predefined confidential keywords. So if you have a deeper look, this policy says that only the research department of the organization will have access to the document, and they will have only view rights on the document. So now let's see how the DLP policies and the IRM policies are mapped to each other. So as you can see, the confidential keyword DLP policy is mapped to the confidential keyword IRM policy, and the credit card number DLP policy has been mapped to the IRM credit card number IRM policy. So what this means is that whenever the DLP system does a scan on the document and finds confidential keywords or credit card numbers in document, it will automatically apply the appropriate IRM policy on that document. Now let's have a look at the documents that we have. So over here, as you can see, there are two documents that we have. One is the credit card data and the other is the nuclear document data. Let's have a look at what each one of these documents contain. So we first open the credit card data document, and as you can see, there are a bunch of credit card numbers which is highly confidential. Now let's look at the other document, which is the nuclear data document. As you can see, the nuclear data document has a lot of confidential information with various keywords like nuclear, secret, etc. So now what we are going to do is we are going to run the DLP scan on these documents and see what happens when the DLP system detects confidential information in this document. So we will go to the e-discovery scanning system of the GTB system, and as you can see, you can either run the scan in once or also set it up in automated mode. So I'm going to run the scan now. So the scan has started. Now let's go to the eDiscovery Central Console and see what happens when the document gets scanned. So as you can see, in some time both the documents are going to get scanned. So as you can see now, both the documents have got scanned. So as you can see, the nuclear.ptf document had a confidential keyword DLP policy violation, and the credit card data document had a credit card number policy violation, and the appropriate IRM policy has been applied to it. Now let's look at in detail what was the DLP policy violation that took place on the document. As you can see, for the nuclear data document, the keyword nuclear was detected, and hence the GTB DLP system raised a confidential keyword policy violation. Now let's have a look at the other document, which is the credit card data document. In case of the credit card data document, it found 4 or more credit card numbers in the document, and hence the GTB DLP system raised a credit card number policy violation. Now let's go back and have a look at the documents. So if you have a look at the documents, you will now see that there's a red lock on the document, which means that the document has now been IRM protected with the appropriate policy by the GTB DLP system. We are going to now log in as the head of the research department and see what happens when the head of the research department tries to open the protected documents. So as you can see, there are 2 documents. So as the head of the research department, this user should have access to the nuclear document. Let's see when he tries to open it what happens. So when this user opens the document, he has access to the document, but he has only view rights on the document. So let's open it and see the document. So this is the nuclear data document, and as you can see, since he has only view rights, he can only view the document. Let's try to print the document, say OK, and as you can see, it gives him an error message saying you cannot print the document. Let's try to copy content out of this document and paste it to some other document, for example, say Notepad. Let me open my Notepad first. And now when I try to paste this document, let's see what happens. So as you can see, all these options to copy paste data into this document are disabled. So as you can see, the head of the research department has access to the document and can view the document, but he cannot copy content of the document or print the document. Now let's try to open the credit card data document and see if the head of the research department can open this document. So when the head of the research department tries to open this document, as expected, you would see that he cannot open the document, and there's a message which says that this user does not have permissions to open the credit card data document because it has been IRM protected with the right IRM policy, which restricts the head of the department from accessing the document. Now let's log in as the head of the finance department and see what happens when he tries to open the document. So now as head of the finance department, he should have access to the credit card data. So let's try and open the credit card data document. As you can see, this user has access to the credit card data document, and he has view and print rights on the document. So as the head of the finance department, he should be able to print the document. So I go and print the document, and the document has been gone for printing. But if I try to edit the document, let's try and put some other credit card number in this document and then save it. So when this user tries to save the document, he gets a message saying that this user is prevented from editing the document. Let's also try and copy paste content out of this document. So let's say copy, and let's open our notepad and see if we can copy content out of this document. So as you can see, this user has been restricted from copying content out of the document. So as the head of the finance department, this user can print the document but cannot do anything other than that. One other important feature of the IRM technology is the monitoring of the system, where all activities are monitored. So as you can see, for the credit card data document, different people did different actions on the document. For example, the head of the research department tried to view the document, however his viewing was restricted. Similarly, the head of the finance department tried to view the document. He also tried to print the document and also tried to edit the document. However, viewing was allowed, printing was allowed, but editing of the document was not allowed. It also gives you the date and time when this action was performed. And if you want some more details, you can click on the left, and that would give you a complete history of the particular activity along with the computer name, the machine IP address, etc. So as you can see, this is the power of the integration between GTB DLP system and Seclore's IRM system. So in short, what we have shown to you is how the GTB DLP system goes and scans documents for confidential keywords and other parameters like credit card numbers within documents, and once detected, it classifies the document and then applies the appropriate information rights management policy from Seclore Technology to protect the document. Thank you.